Hi, it's Josh, and I've been getting quite a few concerned comments from viewers over the past couple of weeks about the INEOS Grenadier after that Cape York engine failure story that's been doing the rounds. And look, I get it. When you're considering dropping serious money on a vehicle like the Grenadier, the last thing you want to hear about is catastrophic engine failures in the Outback. But here's the thing. I've done some digging into this story, and the facts paint a very different picture than what initially appeared. So today, I'm going to walk you through what happened, what INEOS has revealed, and why the incident shouldn't put you off in the Grenadier if you're considering one. Now, I know some of you might be thinking, Josh, why are you even covering this? Well, it's simple. Misinformation spreads fast, especially when it comes to automotive failures, and I believe you deserve the full story. I reviewed the official INEOS statement, looked at the available information about the diagnostic reports, and analyzed the evidence that's come to light. And honestly, what I found was quite revealing. Now, I should mention up front, I'm basing this analysis on publicly available information, INEOS's official statement, and reports from automotive journalists who've had access to the diagnostic documentation. I haven't personally examined the physical evidence, but I've reviewed the information that's been made available, so I'll lay out what I've learned, and you can draw your own conclusion. Let me start with the reports of what happened. In August 2025, a convoy of INEOS Grenadier enthusiasts was making their way through Cape York Peninsula in Queensland, Australia. During a water crossing, specifically at the Pasco River, one vehicle suffered a catastrophic engine failure. Now initially, this looked pretty damning for INEOS, right? A relatively new vehicle, supposedly built for exactly this kind of adventure, dying in the Outback, leaving the owner stranded. But here's where it gets interesting. According to the information that's come to light, including details from the official diagnostic report from the Brisbane dealer dated September 5th, 2025, the failure wasn't due to a manufacturing defect. The investigation found several key pieces of evidence. First, they discovered that 4 out of the 6 screws in the airbox were loose, and there was dirty, muddy residue in the turbo hoses. When they used a borescope to inspect the turbocharger, they found that 5 out of the 6 compressor wheel fins were bent. Not mechanically damaged as you'd expect from impact, but bent in a way consistent with fluid interaction. That's significant because that kind of damage pattern tells a story. Second, they found contamination in the intercooler's hot side, and when they removed it, found there was actual muddy water still present. According to the reports, there are photos of this water in a jar that INEOS has cited as evidence. Now here's the crucial detail that changes everything. This particular Grenadier was the only vehicle in the convoy without a raised air intake. The other 3 vehicles that successfully completed the same crossing all had snorkels, or raised air intakes. The failed vehicle was attempting a water crossing that exceeded the Grenadier's 800mm wading depth limit. Even though it seems obvious, let me explain what happens when you exceed the wading depth without proper preparation. The Grenadier's air intake system is actually quite sophisticated. It's not just a straight pipe to the engine. There's a U-shaped design that goes up near the top of the hood before coming back down, with baffles and drain points designed to handle splashing. But if you submerge that intake and keep it submerged, you'll eventually overwhelm all those safety systems. The diagnostic report shows exactly that happened. Water was sucked through the entire intake system, damaged the turbocharger vanes, filled the intercooler, and ultimately caused a hydrolock that broke the connecting rod and punched a hole through the engine block. That's catastrophic damage, but it's environmental damage, not a manufacturing fault. Now, there was initially a YouTube video posted about this incident that made some pretty serious claims, including that the repair bill was going to be $65,000 and that INEOS was being unresponsive. But what's interesting is that the video was taken down by the creators themselves within about a week of it being published, not by YouTube for a policy violation. And according to the information that's emerged, including what appears to be the repair documentation, the actual part cost was in the low to mid $30,000 range and not $65,000. INEOS Automotive Australia also provided evidence that they'd been in regular communication with the customer, helped select the preferred repairer, sourced a new engine from their global parts network, and even covered urgent air freight costs to minimize delays. In the end, the customer's insurance company accepted the claim as accidental environmental damage. Now, some of you may be thinking, shouldn't a vehicle built for off-road adventures handle this kind of situation? And that's a fair question. But here's the reality. Every vehicle has limits, and the Grenadier's 800mm wading depth is clearly specified. It's not a submarine. Think about it this way. If you took any vehicle, even a purpose-built off-roader, and submerged its air intake beyond its design limits without proper preparation, you're going to have problems. The fact that 3 other identical vehicles in the same convoy completed the crossing successfully with raised air intakes helps to prove that point. This isn't just about the Grenadier being unreliable or poorly designed. This is about exceeding the vehicle's specified capabilities without proper preparation. It's like complaining that your sports car broke down after you drove it through a creek. You're using it outside its design parameters. So here's my take on all of this. The Cape York incident, while unfortunate for the owner involved, shouldn't have been seen as indicative of Grenadier quality or reliability issues. The evidence clearly shows that the environmental damage was caused by exceeding the vehicle's wading depth without proper equipment. If you're considering a Grenadier, this incident actually demonstrates something positive. When properly equipped with a snorkel or raised air intake, these vehicles can handle some serious off-road conditions. 3 out of 4 vehicles in the convoy completed the challenging Cape York trip without issues. You should know, however, that adding a raised air intake does not actually increase the maximum wading depth for the Grenadier, but it could have been protective enough to prevent the other 3 Grenadiers from the convoy from suffering the same fate. So the key takeaway here is preparation. If you're planning serious water crossings, invest in proper equipment like a snorkel system, know your vehicle's limits and respect them, and always have proper insurance coverage for the off-road adventures you undertake. In my opinion, potential Grenadier customers shouldn't be put off by this isolated incident. It's a reminder about the importance of proper preparation and understanding your vehicle's capabilities, not a reflection of fundamental design flaws. What do you think? Have you had experience with water crossings in your 4-wheel drive? Let me know in the comments below. And if you found this breakdown helpful, hit the like button and subscribe for more automotive deep dives, pun intended. Till next time, drive safe and prepare properly, and I'll see you in the next video.